This is big breaking news. A shelter-in-place order has been issued, and a level 2 HazMat incident has been declared as well too. And this is due to another massive toxic explosion that has happened in California. This is a brand new one that just happened today, February 1st. So let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos every single day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So this is what's going on right now. This is happening right east of San Francisco, California. We are seeing another massive toxic explosion. This keeps happening. We had a lithium plant explode just a couple weeks ago, and now a refinery has exploded in Martinez, California, which is in Contra Costa County. Sorry about that. And this is east of San Francisco, east of Oakland. And this toxic plume of smoke has been releasing into the sky all day long. People are saying they can smell it. They're reporting respiratory issues, saying that their eyes are burning from this. And they have declared a level 2 HazMat incident from this as well too. And they're saying to shelter in place. 3 people have been injured from this as well too. It says the fire first occurred at 1:47 p.m. today at the Martinez Refinery company due to a fire and explosion. It says a shelter-in-place order was issued around 4:50 p.m. for the surrounding neighborhoods because of the smoke. All right, so another one. What's going on here? Why do these critical factories, refineries, and places keep catching on fire and exploding in California? This lithium battery plant is not far from here in Moss Landing, California. What is going on? And not to mention all the fires that have been going on in Southern California as well too. It says, quote, a public health advisory has been issued for Martinez and Pacheco, according to a message from Contra Costa County Community Warning System. So they are putting out air alerts and health alerts for people in the area and saying to close your windows. They're saying to activate any filters if you have. This is why it's always a good idea to have HEPA filters or very high quality filters, are either labeled by numbers. A lot of your home filters for your ACs, things like that. Try to get the nicest one you can get that will filter out the most amount of particulate. And even if you're not using it all the time, because some of them are like $20 or $30, even if you're not using it all the time, you can have that to put in place if anything like this happens, to capture a lot of this crap that's floating around in the air. And refinery fires can have a whole host of crazy things in them. All right, benzene, hydrogen sulfide, sulfur dioxide, hydrofluoric acid, right, toluene. All these different random chemicals can be released from these refinery fires. I mean, think about it. This is what they do. They refine these and purify oil, and they refine out all of these more toxic things out of them, so they burn clean in your car engine, right, or wherever they're going. So refineries have a lot of toxic buildup there that's released from these fires, and people in the surrounding areas are breathing this stuff in, right? It goes on to say here that, quote, this is what officials are saying in report to this refinery fire. They're saying, quote, most people will not be affected, but eye, skin, nose, and throat irritation may be possible for some people in the affected area. Quote, if people experience any irritation, advise them to go inside and rinse any irritated area of their body with water. Handle this as advisory information only, right? So that's what and then they're linking to the HazMat website for California. And it also goes on to say that a level 2 HazMat incident is a situation where hazardous materials pose a moderate threat to human health and the environment. All right, so there's different levels to this. It's not as bad as a level 3, but it's worse than a level 1. It's saying these incidents are beyond the capabilities of typical first responders on the scene and might require additional resources, specialized equipment, or assistance from beyond the public sector responding. All right, so this typically requires things like hazmat suits and gear to be deployed in the situation. Respirators, things like that, are going to be needed to deal with this cleanup. And as I'm making this video, the fire is still ongoing. It's still burning. So people have been sitting in this fire for hours and hours, breathing the sun, the surrounding areas. So, and the first responders need hazmat gear, right? So if you're just in the area, take precautions, right? If you can leave the area, definitely leave if you can. I know that's not possible for everyone, but if you have the option to leave, if you can afford to go get a hotel, maybe at least for a few nights while this is clearing out and while they're trying to put this fire out, so you're not just breathing the sun, that would be the top recommended thing I would recommend for people, is just to get out of there and go be somewhere safe. But I know that's not always an option for people. But if they're not even letting first responders respond to this without gear on, then you should be thinking about your health and safety too, right? If you're living in this area, if you're just sitting there, you should potentially be protecting yourself in some way too. I'm not saying to bust out the respirator and wear it around town, but I don't know, maybe you should, right? If you have this equipment, if you have this gear, part of your preps, maybe it's the time to bust it out, right? Or at least bust out these filters for your air conditioner. There's also carbon filters that can capture a lot of these VOCs, these volatile organic compounds that are floating around the air after a lot of these instances. Because what happens too is that these fires happen, there's this giant plume of smoke that goes into the air, and then the smog reacts with the sunlight and it creates VOCs, which are even more toxic and which stay around even longer, and it can create even new chemicals. All right, so it could release hydrogen sulfide into the air, and then once it is aerosolized up in the air and it reacts with the sunlight, it could create even different chemicals. Okay, this happens a lot of times with these chemical releases or wildfires, things like that, where these chemicals react and make even more toxic chemicals, right? So we don't know what we're dealing with here. Hopefully they will have people monitoring the situation, but typically they say that these things are just safe and it's fine and it's not a big deal. That's what they always say, even when people can smell it or can sense these things for weeks or months sometimes. All right, so thank you guys. Please just hit it up for me down there. It helps to get these warnings out so people know what's going on. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying prepared out there. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.